Oh man, Lulu, you is a savage. You a dirty mother. You dirty, and Rock, you dirty too, man. Let's get into it right after this.
Hard, play hard, grind hard, stay hard. No, we stay out, make your head out, but I just can't stop, won't stop hustling.
So, Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, episode 2, entitled Reaping and Sowing. Let's get into it. Let's unpack this. Once again, let me say off the rip, another decent episode. Not as good as the first one, obviously, but it was a decent episode. I'm not even gonna say it wasn't. Let's not compare. Let's not even compare. I think it was a great episode, a great follow-up episode. Really didn't have too many issues with this episode. I thought it was solid. Can we talk about the theme music? I don't think I talked about that in the last review. How do we feel that the new theme music compares? I like the fact that he's switching it up because, you know, the original Power has this, you know, the classic theme song. Then he followed up with Power Book 2 Ghost, which I thought maybe they should have went a little different route. But I get it. It's a continuation of the first one. But this one sees a new and entirely different song from 50. I think it fits. I think it's fitting for, you know, what the theme of the show is. And I believe that the time frame, you know, it's a more of a throwback type song. So it got to grow on me a little bit more before I could give it that classic. Obviously, it's not as iconic as the original Power, but it's still new. But I like the fact that they did switch it up. You know, they didn't continue to rely on Joe and a big rich town. But let's talk about that. Post that in the comments if you can. Now let's get into it. Episode starts off, obviously, continuation of what last episode. Kanan got in some deep-ish. He wound up catching his first body. And I did have one little gripe with this episode. I just felt that they were too lackadaisical for somebody that caught his first body. You know, they haven't explored or said that Kanan's been around dead bodies or been around this before. It's my understanding he's fresh. So he just seemed a little too lackadaisical for somebody that just committed murder for the first time. He wasn't panicking. He seemed perfectly fine. You know, she's sitting at the table with him in the morning. She's like pulling her hair out, and he's just like, I'm good. But that's how teenagers are. Cause I raised my 12-year-old brother, or not my 12. I raised my brother since he was 12 years old. He's 19 now, and that's the attitude he has with everything. I'm good, bro. I'm good. I know how to move out here, and I'm like, all right, whatever. So that was a typical teenager attitude. And then she goes outside, and the guy's delivering the phone book. She thinks it's a guy about to shoot 50, and I don't know why I keep saying 50. Kanan. She thinks somebody's about to shoot Kanan, and she's like, yo, you know what? I'm going to just drive you to school. So she drives him to school, and he's talking about he wants to be more involved in the business. So she's like, all right, well, you want to get involved? You're involved. She's like, when I had you at the beach shooting that gun off, or when you drop that body, you were automatically involved. But he wants to be more involved. He wants to be involved in the day-to-day because he's intrigued by the lifestyle. So she agrees, and I guess Uncle is supposed to pick him up after school and take him to somewhere at the stash spot. Back in school, it's the same thing. Everybody's lax. They're even joking about it. The guy D-Wiz is joking about it. Like, he's just mad that I caught the body. And I'm like, the hell? Like, why is they openly talking about this? It's just like, this is like taboo. If you do something like that, you don't even speak on that shit. Like, cause you know how shit get around. But they just, that was the only gripe I had with this episode, was that, just that whole thing. It's just like, what is you doing? But I get it for the watchers. They want us to kind of, but it was just like, they was too like nonchalant about everything. We see Kanan's wannabe girlfriend, I believe Davina is her name. I hope I'm saying that right. She's beefing with the girlfriend of the gentleman that passed away. And she kicking her ass. She getting the best of her. They wind up breaking them up. She winds up getting a cheap shot in. Punched her, had her shit leaking. I'm like, oh, that's good stuff right there. She was beefing. So I guess the guy that passed away, what the fuck is it? D20, I hope I'm saying it right. I forget his name. I forget the dude's name. The gentleman that passed away, I guess he had 2 girlfriends. One of them might have been a side chick, or he just might have had 2 girlfriends, and they were beefing over a dead dude. I'm like, and Jukebox said the same thing. She like, pretty dumb. You beefing over a dead nigga. I'm like, yeah, stupid. Kanan sees her in the office, tries to slides up in her, and I'm like, this dude a savage. He just killed her boyfriend, and now he about to take this dude girl. If he ain't a hood ninja, I don't know what is. She's obviously sad, but her mom comes in, and he gets to learn that she's not living in so great conditions. Her mom's a junkie. She has to take care of her younger sister, and I think he kind of feels for her. And she gets embarrassed or whatnot. Aside from that, outside of school, Brock, Lulu, and the other brother. Why am I drawing blanks now? I just watched the damn thing. But anyway, they're having a conversation at a breakfast, and they're talking about possibly expanding their business and getting a storefront, because obviously they don't have the blocks no more. They're trying to get a storefront somewhere that looks like a legit business, but in the back, they willing and dealing. And Jukebox's dad comes with some suggestions, and he's like, and they just shooting him down. I see what he's meant to do. He's supposed to be the comic relief for this the show, because every scene he in is fucking hilarious. Marvin, that's his name, Marvin. I'm sorry, Marvin. He's supposed to be the comic relief for the show, and every scene he in is hilarious to me. I don't know. He's just a funny dude. He's talking about they're talking about some guy, I guess, that had a barbershop front, and he wound up having scabies or lice, and now he wants to start a piranha shop. And you're like, yo, what does he know about piranhas and fish? Like, why is he doing this? Everybody got that one friend, that one that got 1,000 business adventure ideas, but they not expertise in none of these fields. It's like a jack of all trades, master of none type dude. Everybody got those or seen one of those in the hood. It just happens. But they wind up deciding to go meet with I guess some Colombians who have, I don't know if it's Colombian or whatnot. They own a store, and I guess they wind up taking their business there. So Lulu and Rock go to meet up with them, and they see that she's being abused by her husband, who could tell is controlling. He's telling like, yo, listen, I handle the business. She don't got nothing to do with this. And they tell him they're going to pay his rent. They're going to put a security door in there. They're going to fix it up. That's what he get. He's trying to get a part of the business. They're like, you're not getting shit. But that, he agrees, and they move on. So I think eventually they're going to wind up doing something with the husband, wind up knocking him off or something. Prior to them going in the store, before they went in, they saw D-Wiz, and they saw his other friend, Hispanic Famous. They saw Famous, and I knew right then and there something was going to happen. D-Wiz was talking, and you just knew. You knew because Rock met up with Unique prior to this as well. And I love when Joey Badass is on the screen. He kind of steals he steals the scene for me, man. He's a good actor to me. He said, I'm doing what I can to keep my boys off, but his family need a body. They need somebody. And I knew right then and there she was gonna try to pin it on somebody. And then, so when they had the interaction when she walked in the store, the way she jumped at it, or way she like motion, I knew right then and there they was gonna pin it on either Wiz or Famous, and I thought it was gonna be Wiz. And I'm like, I thought they would do it, but I didn't think they would do it. I thought that they would probably just set him up or put him in a position to where he got knocked off by the gentleman who passed away's family, or I didn't think they would actually get their hands dirty. But we find out later that Lulu was a crazy mother. So anyway, meeting winds up going good. They wind up going to Jukebox, listen, Jukebox, stay away from the white girls. No, I'm just kidding. Jukebox is falling head over heels for this preppy white girl and shit. She's also hustling, selling bootleg clothes somewhere on Canal Street. I'm guessing that's where it is. Then she goes to buy something for this dance I guess she got invited to. And it's crazy because this is back in the day. Like right now, in these times and age, this is super acceptable. It's nothing, you're not going to look at this out of the norm if two females decide to go to dance. But this is back in 91. That shit was super taboo to be homosexual or anything like that. And to be more upfront about it. You know, it was super, like, especially with her being from the hood. So we'll see how this works out because, you know, this white girl's from a prestigious school and she's bringing this hood black girl along with her. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be some kind of issue, which I think they highlight, which I'll do a video on too from the preview of the trailer. I'll do a prediction of next week's episode. I'm going to start doing those. But it's going to be some shit. Believe that. But anyway, they wind up making out and, you know, I think they falling for each other. They both like each other, man. They both from different sides of the track, but you know what they say, opposites attract, and I think that's what happened here. What else happened? Marvin is throwing a party for some odd reason. So he goes to the club to meet up with what is her name? I'm so horrible with names. I don't even see it on here, but I think Tony. I think she said her name was Tony, if I'm not mistaken. Who is, I believe she's the owner of the club or the manager of the club, and he also, I think that's a front for them if I'm not mistaken. But he winds up saying he's having a little get together, and I think he obviously you can tell he likes her. But it was hilarious when he walked in that club and was talking to Symphony, and he was like, "Listen. You touch my sister, I'm gonna beat your ass." Symphony was like, "I bet you won't." I'm like, yo, I was loving it. I thought that shit was so hilarious. I was crying. I rewinded that about 3 times. He said, "I bet you won't." And I believed him too. I'm like, all right, Marvin, you better pick and choose your battles. But they brought up the dog that was in the microwave too. And this is the first indication that we got that Rock is kind of like ruthless. I think people not gonna see that because they probably like Rock. You know, she's a decent looking female. You know, she's a mom considered to be. She's nurturing the way she feels for Kanan, but dude, she's ruthless. Like you think about that, man. Would you put a dog in the microwave? I wouldn't do that. I don't necessarily care for dogs that much, but I'm not putting no dog in no damn microwave. That's ruthless. That's some ruthless sociopath type shit. And then we see at the end of this episode that she's ruthless. But he winds up, I think you could tell Marvin likes this girl, obviously. They wind up setting some up. He's having a party. I don't know what the party is for. He's just trying to show people we out. Party winds up going off without a hitch until later on. We see that D-Wiz got invited to Kenan's house because Rock's mom is going on a date with Symphony. They're hanging out, chilling, and they trying to bump uglies. And she's all dialed up, and Kenan's like, "Where you going?" And she don't want to tell him, but she like, "Listen, son, I'm going out for the night. I'm going to get some D." That's what she wanted to say. "I'm going to get some D. It's been long overdue. Don't worry about me. Invite your friends over." So while he's waiting, he winds up seeing his little girlfriend walk by. I thought he was going to invite her in, but she got a little baby. And I'm like, dude, she got a kid. But I guess that's her little sister. Everybody done been in that situation. If you're in the hood. Obviously, I've been in. I just told you I raised my brother since he was 12. So everybody been in that situation. I'm not going to say everybody, but a lot of people been in a situation where they had to play the big brother plus the father figure or the mother figure in the household. So that's what she's doing. And I thought he was going to let her slide in, put the baby to sleep, and I thought he was trying to get in where he fit in. But, you know, Kanan, at this age and time in his life, he's super square. He's super square unbeknownst. Even when he was in the trap house earlier, I forgot that part. He was in the trap house. He didn't know that he was just there to get babysit, so he stayed out of trouble. And he's trying to find his door, or he's looking to see what's going on downstairs. Where does this door lead to? And the guy tell him, like, "Yo, what is you doing?" He like, "Yo, I'm supposed to be learning all this." And the guy's like, no, you not. Like, I'm here to babysit you. Like, you not here to, like, is you that stupid? Like, you really that stupid? And he's like, he figures it out. And he confronts Rock later about it. But she tells him, like, listen, baby steps, man. And I told my brother this earlier this week. You got to be able to follow before you can lead. Every leader is a good follower. And she said the same exact thing. And I thought that was very was definitely on time. Because when he saw it, I was like, yeah, see, I told you. Yeah, she was right. So Kanan wants to die first and everything, but he doesn't understand. And she explains like how his dad used to have her in the trap, doing this, and it showed him that she listened. You know what I'm saying? So that's what Kanan got to do: listen, watch, pay attention, soak up everything. Which I think he gets. Obviously, he gets later on in life, because we see how strategic and manipulative he is. Also, at the club, Marvin got his peoples waiting. The chick Tony gets her people in. He gets some soldiers that approach him from Queens. They're like, yo, we want to put in work. Yada, yada, yada. He's like, all right, cool. No problem. Blah, blah, blah. We see D Wiz walking to Kanan's house. Lulu's picks him up. Tells him that Kanan's at this party. He winds up taking D Wiz, getting him liquored up, all sauced up. Wind up getting his little rocks off. Like, he set him up with a nice exit. I'm like, yo, if I go, that's the way you supposed to go, man. Supposed to be nice and juiced up, high out of your mind, and then get your little rocks off. And then we see obviously a fight breaks out. Some guy disrespects the white girl, and Marvin he starts simping and punches the guy, and they get into an all-out brawl. And she's like, oh, nobody ever did that before for me. Nobody ever fought for me. He's like, yeah, I got to defend my girl. And they wind up kissing, and I'm like, what is that? That was another cringy part. I'm like, all right. So it was two parts in this. It was two things in this episode that made me a little cringeworthy. I'm like, But like I said, it was a great episode. So let's get down to it. What you all been waiting for. Kanan is calling Derek's house, and Derek is not answering. Obviously, his mom's on the phone, and I think she tells him that he was on his way to your house. We see that Rock is getting her back blown out by Symphony. I mean, she getting her, and she riding that thing too, man. I had to run that a couple of times too. She knew what she was doing. She was throwing that thing. No, I'm just kidding. So we see that they're in the alley pissing, Lulu and D Wiz. D Wiz liquored up and he feeling himself, and he like, yo, I gotta get that girl number, blah blah blah. And we see Lulu just look at him. He pull that pistol out. He ain't even hesitate, man. He just put one in D Wiz's head. And it was lights out. He got his TV, like Hassan Campbell would say, he got his TV turned off. That was sad, man. That was sad. Not really. It wasn't really sad. It was expected. I seen it coming when they were at the store. Or she jumped on opportunity. I didn't know they were going to get their hands dirty, but they did. Lulu calls Rock, tell her, what the hell did he say? Oh, I can't remember. He said something sweet, some old ass slant saying, what do you say? Food's done or oven's turned off or what do he say? Oh, I can't remember. Post it in the comments, please. Oh man, don't get old. My memory is shot. What did he say? I can't remember, but she was in bed. She had a big ass old ass cell phone. He called her from the pay phone and let her know the job was done. And he's just standing there watching the kid, and he had no remorse. I said, this dude is a sociopath as well. He had no remorse whatsoever. So that's how they took care of the situation with Kanan. And before, when D Wiz got in the car, don't forget, Jukebox saw him get in the car. So she know that the last person he was with was Lulu. So it's gonna be there's gonna be something behind that. Kanan gonna find that out. Believe that. What's gonna happen from there? I don't know. You got to charge it to the game. Family is family. But overall, like I said, Decent episode. I really enjoyed this one. Not as much as the first one, but it was decent. Oh, also, I got to talk about Joey Badass and Omar Epps, Detective Howard. First, how Detective Howard was coming at his partner was hilarious. Put her in her place. Also, he goes to meet up with Unique and tells Unique that there only could be one king in the game, and he has his money on Unique. And he said, as long as there's no more bodies, I'm gonna make sure Rock is out of here. Obviously, he's a sexist, chauvinist pig, and he only wants he don't want a woman in power. Nah, I'm just saying. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not gonna say if I'm not mistaken, but Unique is probably paying him. That's what the only thing I could guess, which might come out later. He might be on Unique's payroll. But Unique's like, yo, smart money, detective. Smart money. And did y'all see that jacket that Unique was getting measured for? That shit was fire. We gotta bring shit like that back. That shit was fire. Like, Unique whole wardrobe is fire. Rock too, man. She dresses well. So does Marvin. I think they the best dressed in the show in terms of, that era. But like I said, overall, great episode. Looking forward to see what happens next week. I'll be doing a prediction video. Post your comments below. Let me know if it's anything I left out, and also, what did you think about this episode? Until next time, peace, love, and prosperity. I am the Black Abstract. Make sure you like, subscribe. Peace.